Hello, 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 everybody. This is Irina Strunina, and this is our podcast, Diabetically Speaking with Smart Move 360. We go live in our Facebook group every Thursday at 4 p.m. Eastern Time, and I invite different healthcare experts, people who are helping those who were diagnosed with type 2 diabetes, to share with us their knowledge, their expertise, maybe some suggestions, maybe some ideas, because there is no story that is exactly the same as the other one. Everybody is individual, and who knows, maybe my guest today will be this final person who you were looking for, and you'll decide to connect and start making some changes. This is a suggestion. This is something that we are doing every week. And you all feel free to go to our YouTube channel, Smart Move 360, and check out all our previous episodes. We're already 3 years in the air, so there's plenty of different options, a lot of experts that I personally respect very much, and I believe that everyone could learn something from every episode we had. With that, I would like to invite Patty to introduce herself to our group and tell us, first of all, I'm glad that we met. I am glad you joined our group. Tell us, why did you decide to join our group? And what kind of work do you do? And what sparks your, interest and all this? So welcome to the show, and we are all ears.
All right. Thank you, Irina. I'm really thrilled that you invited me here. I love to educate people on how to be healthy. I've been in alternative health for over 2 decades. I had a holistic wellness center for 10 of those years. Then we moved to the beach. So my focus is a little bit different, but it's always been about educating people of how to be healthy. My interest in your group was because my husband had been diagnosed, and his numbers were very, very dangerous. His blood sugar was over 250, his A1C was over 9. And one of the reasons I wanted to join is to let people know it is possible to turn those numbers back without medication if we take responsibility for our life. We were able to do that for my husband, and that was almost 9 years ago. And it has been his number hovers 100. His A1C, the last one was 5.4. So it is possible. And I really believe that mindset is number one. We have to have the mindset that we can do this. We don't, I mean, I'm not saying there's not cases when medication is necessary. I don't mean to imply that. But I do feel that if we were to work with our epigenetics, I believe that many, many could do this without medication. I believe that there's some really simple things that can change everything. Let's get rid of processed food. Let's get rid of sugar. And so many people, do you want to say something?
I was going to say, hold on, hold on. Let's talk a little bit more about what you already said, because don't spill everything right away in the first 3 minutes. We need to have a little bit more details about what you said. And the first thing you said that I've heard loud and clear is the mindset. And this is my personal belief that with the mindset, everything starts with the mindset.
Okay.
When we recognize that we can do that, that this is in our power, we will do that. And until we feel that this is out of our reach, we will stay and wait for help. And this is not the way how the you know things are not happening for you.
Right.
They are happening because of you, because of your actions, because of decisions you made, the choices you made. So my invitation is to everyone, let's be active, but even better, proactive. And whatever situation you are in, if you already been diagnosed, or you suspect that you may become diagnosed, or maybe you have a family history, or maybe you just the person who knows that this is possible and you don't want that to happen to you. So you're learning different ways. Um, I would like everybody to start with that.
Right.
This is possible, and
Yeah.
let's work with that. So
It's
Patty, you
about
said
taking our, yeah,
your husband got diagnosed. I know so many people in our Facebook group, Diabetes 101 for Beginners. They join the group and they have a really hard time to accept the diagnosis. How did your husband respond when he got this diagnosis?
well, quite frankly, he was scared to death when he heard his numbers because he already for over a year had was symptomatic, right?
Hmm.
We just didn't know what it was. So he was ready to make the changes. I mean, he really was. And I think that that's part of it, right? When we get that diagnosis, we begin to think, oh, well, now I can't do this, and now I can't have this, and now I can't have that. But instead, we need to focus on what can we have and make that as desirable as possible, right? So he was absolutely willing to make those changes right out of the gate, nutrition wise and body movement, you know? So his mindset was definitely in the right place.
Well, this is great for him, and I know from the statistics, this is something that really repeats again and again. When someone decides to take, right steps in the right directions, maybe small steps, maybe huge, depending on their ability to hold this sustainable, don't drop it. Um, if someone immediately takes an active position, their results could be seen as quickly as 3 months.
Oh, absolutely.
Improvements in their blood work, in their weight loss, in their ability to control their emotions and blood sugar, already in 3 months are getting more noticeable than if someone takes more time. It doesn't mean that who takes more time will not get there. It just takes a little bit longer to get to those results.
Right, right.
So,
Well, his was, we did see
mhm,
results in 3 months, but he didn't look at it like, well, how can I cut corners? Well, maybe I can have this or that. He just didn't because, when you do get the diagnosis, yes, there are things that can happen, but it is about taking our power back, right? And
yes.
that's what he did. He took his power back and he was adamant not to go on medication.
Uh-huh.
And so that's why I think he was so committed to this. And we saw it right away. And the truth is that as you begin to make those changes, you begin to desire those foods and not the others. And part of it is because in your mind you're going, oh, that really isn't good for me. So, you know what I mean? Like it's our bodies saying, no, no, I really don't want that junk anymore, right? But it's also our mind saying, I'm worth the effort.
Absolutely. I just was thinking about this. This diagnosis very often comes as a confirmation. And I tell you what I mean by that. We all, from the school time, hear that vegetables are good for you, sweets in excessive amounts are not good for you, movement, activities, physical activities, good for you. Laying on the sofa watching TV, now from TV we switch to computer to telephone and do nothing is not good for you. So we hear it all. But
Hmm.
it's kind of like not, it doesn't apply to me. I am not that kind of person. This will not touch me. And then we get this diagnosis.
Right.
And this diagnosis comes as a confirmation that all this information that we were listening to for all these years is, as a matter of fact, correct. So now, when we got this confirmed, we tested this theory and it didn't work, or it proved us wrong. We have a really good chance to do the right thing, to make those changes that we were supposed to be kind of like not, it should be our lifestyle, not the changes.
Right. Well, I think that people that are not careful about their lifestyle, they think that it might not catch up to them. And I try and tell people it's not if, it's when. And also, what people don't understand is by the time you have that diagnosis, you have been insulin resistant for a long, long period of time. And so, insulin resistance and blood sugar leads into major health challenges with the heart and the brain and inflammation and all those things. So it's just like I said, we sometimes we think our doctor's responsible for our health. Well, they're not. We're responsible for our health. And as soon as we can understand that and also decide that we are worth the effort, it gets easier. It really does get easier.
Absolutely. You just reminded me. I was listening to some podcasts that we had in the past, and few months ago, I interviewed the guy. He is a nurse, and he told how he is a traveling nurse, or used to be a traveling nurse at the time. And he told his story how he got diagnosed. And he had some wound that wouldn't heal. So he finally gave up because it became very bad, and he is not at his hometown. He is on his assignment. So he went to the hospital, and sure enough, they ran his blood work and said, "Okay, you have diabetes." And he was like, "Are you sure? I am medical professional. I cannot have it, right?" So
Mhm.
they confirmed that he has this blood. His blood sugar is very high, and all this A1C is very high. So he said, "Well, okay, it's your fault." And the doctor was like, "How it's my fault?" He said, "Of course it's your fault." Of course he was joking, but his point is, if you didn't tell me, I wouldn't be diabetic.
Yes, right, right. Yeah,
So this is the only doctor's fault that they told you about it. But we always are saying, don't shoot the messenger. Doctor, in this case, only explaining what the blood work showed, and blood work is yours. It's not doctor's blood work.
right. Well, listen, every choice we make has an impact.
Hmm.
And if we want to be healthy, we have to think about every choice we're going to make because it's either going to move you closer to health or further away. And when it comes to the blood sugar issues, you know, there's major things down the road if you don't step up. And as I said, I think that it is back to the mindset again is don't think of it negatively. Think of it positively that we can do this. And I know that we can because we have with Dave. It's almost 9 years, no medication ever. So pretty exciting.
Yes, absolutely. And I think in his case, I'm sure not everybody as fortunate as he is
Hmm.
to have a spouse that is knowledgeable about the topic, very active about the everything that is related to your health, and definitely available to help.
Yes.
So he probably was already primed by you before he got diagnosis, because I am suspecting that you in your household didn't go to McDonald's often.
Oh,
That
never.
probably did not eat too much sweets and desserts that could bring the damage. I mean, holidays happen and
That's right.
all
That's right. You
social
have to.
events happening, but it's not that you in your household it was like everyday thing. So he was primed for making even more changes, even get even stricter, and having a supporter like yourself is so helpful, so helpful. So my always ask for everybody who got diagnosed, don't hide it. Don't put it on the social media. I just got my diagnosis for everybody to know. But in your family, it's a great idea to inform your loved ones that you have this diagnosis, ask for help,
Mhm.
create a plan how together you can work about it. And the whole important thing is what is good and healthy for person with diabetes
Right. Right.
is good and healthy for person with pre-diabetes or for person who doesn't have diabetes and doesn't want
Right.
to get it.
You bet. Absolutely. Absolutely. I mean, I eat as cleanly as I can too, and I don't have the diagnosis. But yeah, I mean, it should be a way of life for us. I think that we've all kind of gotten off track somewhat. And you're right. I think because I'm here constantly reminding him, because, my business, I do focus on blood sugar and gut health. I believe if we get those two things under control, we can live relatively healthy, right? So you're right. I'm here that if he starts to get a little bit off track, I go, hey, hey, come back in here. So yes, if you have this diagnosis and you have that sense of dread or fear, connect with somebody, get a nutritionist, get somebody that can guide you along the way. There's a plethora of information out there. And it's not about figuring out how you can make a dessert that might have a little less sugar. That's not the attitude to have.
Exactly.
And you want to be healthy and whole.
Yes, definitely. Well, I'm looking at it this way. If you found yourself in this situation, living the life that you lived out up till today, and that life brought you to this diagnosis, it means that there are some changes need to be done, right? Some adjustments to the life that you lived, and that's understanding of it. It's the mindset what we started with.
Right,
Once you accept it, understand it, and start making those changes. And like for your husband, he went whole cold turkey. But for some people, even small steps, even just regulating the uh, how do they eat, not
right,
what they eat, but how. Say breakfast at this time, lunch at this time, dinner at this time, and stay close to these times. Not
right,
sporadically, I eat whenever I want to eat, but stay on schedule. Even that may be the first step
right,
towards the next healthy choice.
right, right. Well, I think too, I think that some people are just in denial.
Yes.
And actually prior to my husband getting that, as we sat in front of that medical professional, and she asked him what he ate, and when he told her, she said, well, first thing we have to do is cut out all that bread. And he said, oh, I didn't know bread was that bad for you. And I'm like, how many times had I has said that to him? I said, you're literally killing yourself, because he ate a lot of it, a lot of it.
Uh-huh. Uh-huh.
You know what I mean? And so sometimes I think that people just don't want to look at it. Like if I don't talk about it, it's not so. And that's not a great way. And when I think about how our life was on hold back then, I mean, we're in our 70s and we are living a very, very active life without health challenges because of our epigenetics and, supplementation, that. But I think that, we need to look at the picture. We need to get the help we need to get and reach out. Get a nutritionist, get somebody that can get you on track.
You just mentioned something so important. Um, and this is for caregivers. I also have this Facebook group, Diabetes 101 for caregivers,
Mhm.
and we run this event, Diabetes 101 for caregivers. This is a crash course for those who don't have diabetes themselves, but they try to educate themselves to help their loved ones.
Right.
And the sad part is, you're right, and this you are not the first person who I hear it from. When we, as caregivers, as supporters, are telling to our loved ones some information that is just common knowledge. It's not that it is my opinion. It's common knowledge. You could find it in the workbooks, in the textbooks, on the internet. Chat GPT will tell you that. But when it comes from us, it's like talking with kids, right? They don't hear it.
Right.
Selective
Absolutely.
hearing. But, and this is why it is so important, in my opinion, to have in your team, in your care team, a trusted doctor, dietitian, nutritionist, life coach, health coach, someone who you trust. In my case, my husband trusted our chiropractor. So whatever our chiropractor would recommend, he would follow that.
Yes.
And in your case, apparently, you being the health coach and in health industry, running your health business for decade,
Right.
over the decade, your husband didn't hear the message that you was trying to give him
Yeah.
until the trusted doctor said it. Like then he heard it. Same thing I hear again and again from some other my friends who are caregivers and healthcare providers. It You lose your authority when you
Right.
speak with your family members. You just the wife, the husband, the child, uh, or the mother who know nothing. You are just loving me, and therefore anything you say is not the knowledge that we need to follow. Unfortunately, I mean there are exceptions, but in
Right.
most cases, this
I
is the
agree. Yeah,
situation.
I agree. And that's why initially it's really important to get support. Once you're on your own 2 feet and really have gathered the information and got the guidance, then you might be okay to move forward. But I do think that it's just not saying, oh, well, I can't have dessert anymore. That's not good enough. That's not good enough.
That's right.
So, yeah, seek out somebody that can guide you, support you, get you on the right track for sure.
Absolutely. And this is well, thank you for saying that too, because this is one of the reasons why I started this podcast. Diabetically speaking with Smart Move 360, one of the main reasons is to show people who listening to us that there are many experts out there. And
Absolutely.
they're wearing different coats. Some of them are doctors, some of them are nurses, some of them personal trainers, some of them life coaches, some of them, uh, I don't know, insurance brokers, different people who can help you. All you need to do is just open your mind and accept that unfortunately I have this diagnosis. I am not informed enough, and I might as well, at least for some time, seek help from
Yeah.
somebody else. Sometimes it becomes the lifelong relationships. Sometimes this is just the push, like catalyst for you to start making changes and get the confirmation you're doing right, you're doing good, yes, this is the right way, and then you could do it on your own. And sometimes you just need the accountability partner, and that could be another expert or helper around in your circles.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And like I said, you don't want to be in that place of denial because the price is too high.
Exactly, exactly. Yes, this is something, when we have a car and the car is making noises, we take it to mechanic.
Yes.
Well, before we take it to mechanic, we try to put the right oil in there, well, first of all, change the oil, put the right gas, check the tire pressure, and if nothing changes the noise, we go to the doctor, or which is a mechanic. With
Mhm.
our bodies, we just take the painkiller or the sleeping pill or whatever else and try to stay away from the doctors. And this is something that I would recommend everybody to just like swallow the pill, because when your car engine goes out, you have to just suck it in and go and change the engine or fix the engine. When you don't feel well and your first initial changes didn't help, you got to see the expert. And once you have the confirmation that you're not feeling well is related to some diagnosis, then you may start looking for help, support, information, so you could continue living your life instead of suffering your life, right?
Absolutely. Absolutely. And I think that, like a lot of times you'll hear people go, well, I can't afford to do that. I can't afford to hire a nutritionist. I want to say you can't afford not to. Because if you don't invest in yourself, and that's time and money, it is. If you don't invest in yourself, you are going to be paying for sick care. You are going to be going to the doctors and paying for medications and copays and, maybe surgeries along the way. So you're going to pay one way or the other. So why not pay for true health care, not sick
Exactly.
care? Yeah.
Exactly.
Mhm.
Exactly. This is so important to don't wait till, the saddest interviews I have, these are with podiatrists. These are the doctors who actually go through, oh, this is a little bit, a blister on my foot, to the amputation of that foot because person didn't pay attention, didn't go to doctor to verify, to take care of the wound, and then they run into this
That's right.
losing the limb. So, but once you know what to do, then it's up to you. You do it. You may acquire help, and it could be family member or the professional, but you do need to use all the knowledge. And by the way, talking about, I wanted just to bring this up. When people are saying this is so expensive to get a get the help from the professional. This is I don't have money for it. Hello, people. Our Facebook group, Diabetes 101 for Beginners. Every Thursday we have a podcast. This one, Diabetically Speaking with Smart Move 360. Every single guest that I am inviting has at least 15 minutes to talk with you
Yes.
for free
That's right.
to help you to understand where you are.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
So the fact is, oh, by the way, I did have 19 Diabetic Healthcare Expo with 19 experts on it. And I had published agenda for each of these events. Each of my speakers posted their link how to get in touch with them to get either free guide, free menu, free assessment tool, free consultation, something for free. Unfortunately, this is the step that not many people took. I know
I,
few people did, but not many. And this is what makes me sad. And I hope that I'm, for whatever reason, aggressive today. Wasn't the plan. I hope that everyone who is listening to our podcast today, please be active.
yeah.
Please take those steps. Contact with Patty. Listen to our YouTube recordings in the past and contact with those speakers if you like them for whatever reason. Maybe they have the answer that you are looking for. Uh, as I said, different speakers, different experts in different areas of health and wellness. Your part is just participate in it. Don't wait. We don't know. We don't read the minds and we cannot reach to every individual, but we are open to talk with you and do that.
But they have to take the first step.
Exactly. Ask for help.
Yes, yes.
Well, Patty, unfortunately, we could talk with you for a long time, and we already have done it before, but uh, our show is at the end.
Oh,
So let's talk about this. How people can reach out to you if they want to know more about your work, if they want to maybe to clarify something that you said today on the show. What would be the best way to contact you?
well, if they go to my website, which is just my name, pattiscallan.com, there's a Calendly link. They can jump right on. I do a 30-minute call with anybody that would like just some information, some guidance. So that's probably the easiest. But I am on social media. I'm on Facebook, I'm on LinkedIn, I'm on Instagram. I'm kind of all over the place. But that's probably the easiest is
Absolutely.
pattyscallan.com. And if you see how I spell my name, PattiScallan.com, then you can have more information and reach out to me. But any of those ways are fine.
Absolutely. We will have this link on description of the episode on our YouTube channel. So anyone, if you didn't quite catch the name and you don't see, maybe it's too small letters on the screen of the name spelling, you can always go to our YouTube channel and find this episode and copy and paste from there. So that will be a way how to get with Patty. And before we wrap up today, I just wanted to remind about a couple of things that are happening in our Facebook group, Diabetes 101 for Beginners. So wanted to remind you that every other Wednesday we have our support group meetings where me and some other admins for our Facebook group, and also very often our registered dietitian, Kim Kyle, and some other healthcare professionals are joining there to answer your questions. We have several regulars. We often, well, always have somebody new coming in with questions, and we are doing our best to answer it. It's happening every other Wednesday at 7 p.m. Eastern Time in Zoom outside of Facebook. But we post the link to that meeting on those Wednesdays. So on Thursdays, every Thursday at 4 p.m., of course, we have this podcast going on. I also wanted to let you know that if you missed this episode or other episodes, or you are interested to learn more, here's our channel on YouTube. And please, when you are there, subscribe so you will see other episodes. It will be easy to find, and share it with those who can use it. My main thing is here, we got to share. And every last Thursday of the month, I invite people who live with diabetes to share their experiences. So you could hear to the experts, but you also can listen to those who live with this diagnosis and what challenges do they have, what hoops they have had to jump, and maybe they're right now at the very challenging time, or maybe they already took it under control and sharing what was their aha moment. One more piece of information: every last Saturday of the month, Kim Kyle and myself, we host this Diabetes 101 for caregivers. It's a approximately 2 hours crash course where we're talking about different aspects of this diagnosis, because very often caregivers don't get to go to the doctor's office and they don't hear those recommendations and explanations, and people who go to see the doctor not always able to describe all the information the doctor gave them, or maybe they decide to don't do that. One more thing, the app Diabetes 101 is already up in the Apple Store and Google Play, available for download. We are working on filling it in with the information and links. So what I would do, I would download it and put the notifications on. So every time we have some upgrade there, something new, you will have the first time, the first person you will be notified about this. Experts are always wanted. If you are a healthcare expert and you want to share your expertise, please reach out to me. And with that, we are wrapping up. Patty, thank you very much for your time, for your, you know, information and experience and expertise. I hope people learned something, got inspired, motivated to do the work, which is
Right.
very important, and we're here to help.
All right. Well, thank you so much, Irina. As we've talked about, our goal is to educate people, right? So I
Absolutely.
appreciate your time as well. So thank you so much.
Thank you. See you next week.
Bye.